particular favorite of ours is our next guest, Mark Furman, who is even more famous than the detective. And
in my house, he is.
And Mark is the senior litigation partner at Tarlow, Breed, Hart and Rogers. Mark is going to talk to us about a subject that is near and dear to entrepreneurs' hearts when we talk about shareholder disputes
and collateral
and the collateral damage that comes from that.
Right.
Well, first of all, great to be with you, Mark, and Jeffrey. Great to be with you as well. So, folks in businesses frequently have partners, co-shareholders, co-members, co-partners, and my advice to folks is make sure that you have an agreement between as to how things are going to work, because if you don't, you're left in this world of ambiguity and where you have legal responsibilities that you probably don't even realize you have. So if you're a Massachusetts company, a Massachusetts limited liability company, corporation, or partnership, you owe fiduciary duties not only to the business but to each other.
Right.
That means you can't act in your personal best interests. You have to take into account and act in the best interests of the company and not use your position in the company to oppress or hurt your fellow partner.
Right.
So what do? Folks always say, well, let's be 50-50 partners. That makes me cringe when I hear about 50-50 partnerships, because it's wonderful as long as everybody agrees 100% of the time. But what if there's a business problem that needs a decision where there's a disagreement?
Right.
What do you do if one of the partners is not pulling his or her weight?
Performance.
How do you decide things? Entrepreneurs need to make 100 decisions a day.
Right.
And what do you do when you can't make a decision because there's a conflict within the partnership? So that's what I'm talking about. How do you resolve disputes? How do you break deadlocks? Do you want to have these fiduciary duties? If you have a non-performing partner, do you want to have the right to terminate his or her employment, and what are the implications? If there's not an agreement that spells it out,
right,
under Massachusetts law, you may be surprised to know that if you terminate a 1% owner, they will argue that you have no right to terminate them except under unusual circumstances. The law has created this whole analysis as to when a partner can terminate another partner, even if they have the votes. So it's like this shifting burden of proof and a question of whether there's a less restrictive alternative. If you have the guy who's hired to do sales and he can't sell,
right,
if his life depended upon it, can you fire him? Well, it could be challenged because maybe he can be the internal controller or bookkeeper.